Okay, so if you're tuning in, this is Professor M, and we're going to be working on Word 3.1. This is an exercise that is part of your SIMnet. And so, if you're new to SIMnet, as you know, as you've noticed, many of the windows look exactly the same, but they have a slightly different instructions from each other. In this particular one, you have three files that you're going to need to download to be able to do this particular exercise. The files that you need to download are on the left side of the screen are as follows. You have a resources file, you have a start file, and you have instructions. How do you know that you really need these things? Well, it says required, so you kind of do need them. Now, there are two ways that you can download these files. One of them is if you normally just click on a file in SIMnet, it will automatically download to the downloads folder in your computer wherever you have assigned that to. By default, it's called a downloads folder. Or you can also right-click the file, click Save Link As, and it will give you an option to change wherever you want to save it to. So for example, if you wanted to save it in your Documents folder or on the desktop, you can do it that way. For simplicity's sake, we're just going to download them straight to the downloads folder on my computer here. I'm currently using Windows 10. If you are using Mac, it is very similar, and just make sure that you know exactly which folder you downloaded it to. So here are the files that we need. First off, here's our resources file. Now our start file and our instructions file. I'm using Windows, so I'm clicking the Windows one. If you do the Mac one, you'll get the Mac one. They're both PDFs, but the instructions for the Mac one may be slightly different if you have a Mac. Okay, those three files have been downloaded. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to read the instructions. So where do I find those things? Here we go. File Explorer. And we go to the downloads folder because I know that's where they went. And there they are, the three, because it's 3:34 in the afternoon. It's 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. So we have our instructions. This is a PDF file. This will be opened by either Adobe Acrobat Reader, Adobe Acrobat Pro, or your system viewer, or by default, whatever software you use to read PDF files. We're going to need that open because we need that to tell us what to do. So let's take a look at what we're going to have to do for this project. So in this Microsoft Word exercise, your objectives that will be reviewed will be inserting and formatting pictures, using text effects, word art, and text boxes. That's what you're going to be doing for this assignment today. Please make a note of figure 3.61. If you see a picture like this, there's probably a good chance you're going to need to refer to it later. So make sure that you do go back to that when you are reading your PDF file. So let's take a look at our instructions. Step 1. We need to open the data file WD 2016 3-1 center.x. That's the second file that we downloaded when we clicked all of those links in our SIMnet page. So what we will need to do is we'll need to open that file, which is located in our downloads folder. At least for me it was. Let's go ahead and open that. It's going to open up Microsoft Word because it's a docx file. Okay. Now we have our file, but there's a little bit of extra stuff up here. What's up with this yellow banner? Let's take a look. If the document opens in protective view, click the Enable Editing button so that you can modify it. Let's take a look. Well, it is in protective view, and so we need to click this Enable Editing button to do that. Now, why is it like this? Why is it in protective view? I just opened this up the first time. Well, here's the deal. Microsoft Word likes to protect you from random things that could come through the internet, and it is a known fact by many computer users that random Word documents can contain viruses in them. So since Microsoft Word is very cautious about that, it likes to ask you, hey, you just downloaded this from the internet. Is this something that you really wanted to do? And if you're really, really sure, then yes, you can go ahead and tell Microsoft Word, yes, it's okay. I'm going to enable editing now. Here's what happens when you enable editing. Once you do that, it opens up normally, just like any other Microsoft Word document that you would have in your computer. Okay, that right there is the end of step 1. Step 2 is the file will be renamed automatically to include your name. Since I'm teaching this class, I'm not asking you to do anything else to the file because your name's already on there. Since this is my file, it's my name. Okay? How do you know it's saved? Because it tells you it's saved. It's saved up here. All right, the next thing we need to do is we need to go back to that resources file. We need to click the pictures button in the illustrations group. We need to actually insert. So here we go. We can do it one of two ways. Let's see. I'm actually curious if it'll work if because I downloaded a zip file, and a zip file usually contains other files, and that's what's probably in there. But let's take a look and see if that actually does work. So we're going to go insert pictures. Where did we download that file to? It was in the downloads folder, and it was called, apparently that doesn't work, so that means we need to unzip a file. So let's go back here, and here is our zip file, the resources.zip. Let's go ahead and double click that. And lo and behold, there's a JPEG, which I think we're going to need. So let's go ahead and extract it. Windows will ask you what the name of the file folder will be that you want to extract everything to. I just leave it the same so that I know it's exactly that folder. And then I also check the box show extracted files when complete because it'll automatically open up that folder so that I know that it's the right one. You don't have to do that, but it gives me peace of mind to know that it actually did the unzipping successfully. So click extract. Cool. Well, that's cool. I think I'm going to use that. That looks like a picture to me. So I'm going to close exit out of both of these. I don't need that right now. We're going to go back to insert. We're going to go to pictures, and we're going to go to our downloads folder, which is already selected here. This was just freshly downloaded. So we'll double click that because that's where we need. And it's spine.jpg. Let's double check it. Yes, it is. That's spine.jpg. That's exactly what we need. So let's go ahead and select that, click insert, and poof, there is a doctor and the patient, at least you hope it's the patient, and wondering why that is not inside of him. Oh, no. Are you spineless? No, I'm not spineless. I'm doing a recording. That's the end of number 3. Next, we are going to mess with this picture, starting with step 4. We're going to click to select the picture. How do we know the picture is selected? Because when I click on the picture, the adjustment tabs are open. These are like little adjustment points that you can change. We're then going to click the shape height box in the size group on the picture tools format tab. Here's what happens. Whenever you click an image on Microsoft Word, it's going to open up this new tab called picture format. And it's going to contain a bunch of things that you can do with a picture, ranging from positioning to layout to effects to just things that you can do with a picture. I kind of like to call it poor man's Photoshop at this point. Now we're going to be changing the size. The size is located on the right side of the screen here, and we have a height size. And of course, if you don't know what these things are, you can just take your mouse, hover, and just let it sit there for a couple seconds, and it'll show you. And we have the width here. So this thing is telling us that we want to change the height, the shape height, to a 4. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the shape height and I'm going to change it to a 4. Now I want you to note carefully what happens to the width when I do that. So here's 4. I'm going to hit enter, and notice what happens to the bottom box. It changes as well. So what will happen is, by default, unless you change it differently, whenever you adjust an image in Microsoft Word, it will adjust it proportionately, which means it will not alter or stretch or change the dimensions of the image only in one direction. It will change it in both. So how do we know this? Well, it's going to ask us to confirm the shape width of the box in the same group and make sure it's 3.2. Is it 3.2? Yes, it is. 4 and 3.2. We have completed step 4. Let's look at step 5. With the picture still selected, which it still is, take a look, it's still selected. You can see all of the tools that you need to work on it. You're going to click the Layout Options button. Where's the Layout Options button? It's up here. There's your Layout Options button. When your picture is selected, this guy appears, and that is where you're going to be clicking. You're then going to select Quick Square with Text Wrapping. And then we're also going to select the option saying Fix Position on Page. Here's where we find that. With this selected, we're going to hit that. We're going to hover our mouse that says Square, so we're going to select it as Square. And then we want it to fix position on page. That is an option down here. We will make that happen, and then we will click Out. That's done. with the picture still selected, which means we need to select the picture again. Click the drop-down arrow under Crop button in the Size group on the Picture Tools Format tab. So here's our Crop button. Where is our Crop button? Well, I had to select that. I kind of missed that Picture Format tab, but there it is again. So let's select that again. Crop, and we want to crop to shape. That's our Crop button. The Crop button is located next to the image size, shape height, and shape width. Crop, crop to shape, and let's take a look at what they're asking us to use. We want to click Round Diagonal Corner Rectangle from the Rectangle section of the Shape Options menu. So once you do that, so we're going to do Crop, crop to shape, and we're going to select, let's see, top quarter is rounded, we don't want that. Diagonal quarter is rounded, we definitely want that. So we're going to select it, and look what happens to the photo when you do so. It only rounded out 2 of the corners because that's all you wanted. Are we finished? Yes, that is the end of number 6. Number 7, with the picture still selected, click and drag the rotation handle and rotate the image slightly to the left. What's our rotation handle? It's up here. Even the mouse says it's the rotation handle. Once I take my mouse, notice that it changes. And we're going to move it a little bit to the left. So we're going to take this, we're going to hold our mouse down, we're going to tilt it just a little bit. I don't want it to get too tipsy, but I think that will suffice. It doesn't really say specifically in number 7, like how far to the left you want to do it, but obviously you don't want to go like that because that's just a little too much. But just a little tweak is fine. We don't have to do anything crazy. All right, let's look at number 8. Now we need to select the text that says KM Wagner Medical Center, and then we're going to change it using the text and typography button in the font group on the home tab. So what we need to do is we need to select the font that we're going to be changing. KM Wagner Medical Center, here we go. Just make sure that's the only thing that you're selecting. Once I do that, it goes back to home automatically and it shows all of your font options. We are going to go to text effects and typography, which is basically the A that is glowing. We're going to hit the drop-down menu and we're going to find that particular piece, that particular font style. That font style is labeled as Fill Red Accent Color 2, Outline Red Accent Color 2. It says it's the middle choice in the top row, but I think that just assumes that you're using Microsoft Word in its most maximized window. In this case, it's not, so it kind of moved everything a little bit to the side. So let's take a look. There it is. And how do we know it's correct? Because you can see in the description, red accent color 2, red accent color 2 for the hard shadow. That's correct. Let's go ahead and select. And it changed it. Do we need to do anything else? Nope. This is an alternative instruction, but the first one works anyway. Let's take a look at step 9. Click the image and drag it down an inch or 2 until the heading text wraps to the top and looks like figure 3.61. Wait a minute. Well, figure's 3.61? Let's take a look. Hey, long time no see. Let's make that a little bit bigger so that you can actually see what we're trying to make it look like. So we want it to kind of look like that. I think we can do that. So let's click back to our word and let's take this guy and let's move it down just a little bit until that world is kind of on the side and maybe this is aligned and the phone number looks like it's okay. Okay, cool. I think I like that. What do you think? You think it's cool? I think it's cool. All right, let's take a look. Does it look close? What do you think? What looks better, number 1 or number 2? I had to make an optometry joke. Number 1 or number 2? I think that looks pretty good to me. So let's take a look at what we need to do next. All right, number 10, save the file. It's not saved yet because it doesn't tell me it is. So let's go ahead and save it. 2 places you can save it, 3 places you can save it. Either hitting Control S on your keyboard, clicking this, or going to File and hitting Save. Those are your 3 ways that you can save it. I'm just going to click this icon of a floppy disk. And do I know it's saved? Yeah, because it just told me it is. Okay. The next thing we do is we go to step 11, close the document. All right, see ya. And also, if you saved it properly, it's just going to close without any incident. If you didn't save it, it will ask you to save. It's always good practice to save before you close. Okay, that went bye-bye. Next thing we need to do is we need to upload and save the project file. Well, let's do that. Remember this window? This is your web browser. We need to upload the file that we just worked on. So let's click Upload My File. And since I saved everything in the Downloads folder, and that Word document is the last thing that I opened, it's going to be the first thing that's going to be available here because it's all in chronological order. So I'm going to go ahead and select the docx file because this is the only thing I'm going to be, you know, uploading. So I'm going to click Open. And now it's going to ask me, do you want to submit this uploaded file? Well, I don't really feel like working on this anymore because I think I finished it. So yes, I'm ready to submit this file. Let's see what happens. And if I did this correctly, I should have gotten everything right. Hey, well, what do you know? So when you finish one of these, and whether or not you successfully did everything correct, or it's partially right, or whatever, SIMnet automatically grades you and will tell you exactly what you did correctly. And then if you did miss something, it'll tell you how to fix it, and then you can, alter the file, re-upload again, rinse and repeat. So there you go. There you have it. Did it all. Hooray. You're done with one assignment. Now you can move on to the next one. I hope this helped today and that you were able to figure out what you were supposed to be doing. But yes, this is the end of lesson 3.1, and I hope you have a great day and work on the rest of this.